Welcome to Kickin' with the Rickens, redefining retirement. Gerry Ricken and Heidi Ricken Provost want to help you retire with purpose and live with joy. Find more information, including how to reach the team, in today's show notes. Now, Kickin' with the Rickens, powered by Ricken Financial.
Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for downloading. Thanks for listening to Kick In with the Rickens podcast. We are here with retirement planner Heidi Ricken Provost and licensed insurance professional Gerry Ricken. My name is Mark Owens. We invite you to get more at rickenfinancial.com. You can get all the information here in the show notes. Thanks again for subscribing. Now, let's get to the show. Heidi Ricken Provost, Gerry Ricken, as we get things started here, I guess my overall question to you is, what can you do for me? What can you do for the adults in St. Louis and the surrounding area?
Well, what we do every single day is assist people in coming up with a comprehensive, holistic retirement plan called the Purpose Approach. So our entire focus of our business is ensuring that you have a plan in place to handle the storms in your retirement years, whether it be your income needs, your investment and market risk, your tax risk and what you're going to be exposed to there, how you're going to cover your health insurance, but also your long-term care with some health risk there. And what about life insurance? Do you need life insurance for the living benefit or the death benefit? Your legacy and your estate. What kind of legacy do you want to leave behind? And what are your estate planning needs? And are you meeting all of those with the proper beneficiary designations so you can avoid probate? And what we believe to be the most important part of retirement planning, what's your purpose going to be? What are you going to do with your time in retirement? We wrap all that up, and that's what we provide every day is assistance with coming up with the overall reaching plan so that when you implement all of that, when we're managing your assets, they're working towards your investment risk and they're meeting the tax risk that you'd be comfortable with. And you can answer a lot of those questions that pop in your mind. The what ifs. What if this happens in retirement? What if that happens in retirement? Am I going to be okay? Do I take Social Security at the right time? Is my pension plan going to survive? All these questions that go through our head, we put together a plan for those.
So, Mark, we say that our motto is plan with purpose and retire with joy. And that's truly what we're all about. We want to make sure that we meet where you are and take you to and through retirement by focusing on all the things that Heidi just mentioned. And, we consider ourselves a phase 2 planning firm. There are a lot of phase 1 planning firms that get you to retirement. They focus on your assets, your risk, your tolerance. You're building that nest egg. And what our purpose is in our lives is to help you get to and through retirement by answering one question: am I going to be okay? That's what people really want to know. Am I going to be okay? And we sit there and we work through to make sure that you are going to be okay.
When you're in your retirement years, you're in a different phase of life than when you're working. And if you're staying invested the exact same way you invested in all of your working years when you're in retirement, you're doing yourself a disservice because you're no longer in the accumulation phase of your world. You are now in the distribution and preservation phase of your world financially. So it takes a different skill set to ensure that your money is going to last, that preservation phase, but also how do you distribute the funds to you? How do you ensure that your income needs are going to be met? Because when you retire, you don't have a paycheck anymore. That's the beautiful thing about retirement. You don't have to work for a paycheck every day. So you need your money to be working for you. And you probably don't know that if you do the wrong withdrawal order of your assets, if you don't factor in your market risk for each of your investments and what the tax status is for that investment, and ensure that you're doing the correct withdrawal order on that when you do pay yourself income out of your assets, then you don't know that you might be leaving hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars on the table and paying that to Uncle Sam and the IRS versus paying it to yourself. So small little tweaks can make very large amounts of difference to you during your lifetime and for the next generation, but more importantly to you during your lifetime. So that's what we do every day, is ensuring that you have the answers to the questions that you have going through your mind right now about everything that's going to be affecting you in retirement.
And if you think about how you've earned and how you've gained and how you've built your nest egg, it's all about accumulation. And Heidi said the accumulation years are over with when you retire. So what about taxes? How's that going to affect you? Taxes are your largest expense in your lifetime. Let's just put that out there. Yep. They are. A lot of people may think their homes are largest expense. Well, that's an asset, but the largest expenditure. But taxes for the rest of your life will be the largest dollar amount that you can face unless you do the appropriate tax strategies and put plans into place to reduce those in retirement. And when we talk to people, they say, well, I've never heard tax diversification before, tax strategies before. That's what we focus on in addition to everything else. We want to manage your portfolio the way you want to be managed, okay? We want to meet your risk tolerance, but we also want to look at what your tax risk is, because there is a huge amount of taxation that we can eliminate or reduce, nullify, if we do the appropriate strategies for you for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
We have this conversation a lot, and a lot of people will say, well, isn't it too late? I'm retiring in 6 months. What do you mean?
Or I'm already retired.
Yeah, exactly. But I had a conversation last week with a woman who said, well, I only have 6 months until retirement, and I've never put money in a Roth before. So why would I start now? That's not going to make a difference. And what we do every day is we run a bunch of figures. We're number nerds, okay? And I'm a huge tax nerd.
Good.
So when I sit back and I run a bunch of analyses together, I love that stuff. So I was like, okay, great. Give me the challenge. Let's run the numbers and let's show you if the $11,000 you're going to save before retirement, if it makes a difference, if that goes into your Roth versus your traditional 401k at work. Mm-hmm. And guess what, guys? 6 months of having a Roth makes, if she lives to over 100, it could potentially save her more than $100,000 of tax to put $11,000 into Roth versus putting $11,000 into her traditional for the next 6 months before she retires. So as much as we might think, okay, the fear of the unknown gets the best of us, we may or may not think that we're doing the right thing. And if we've always done it and we're a creature of habit, why would we break our habit and our routine? Tiny little tweaks can make worlds of difference when it comes to retirement. So,
when you talk about changing your routine, a lot of people don't think they need to change the way they invest when they retire, but retirement changes everything. Your routine on a daily basis changes. You no longer go to work. You're doing something else with your life. So why would you think that everything else wouldn't have to change? It really does have to change because you're in a different phase of your life. You are in the phase where you want to retire with joy and enjoy everything. You want to spend more time with your kids, with your grandkids. You want to travel more. You want to maybe buy that lake house. You want to do things that feed your soul. Maybe you get an RV and you travel around the country. Who knows? But we want to see what you want to do and then match your plan to make sure that you can accomplish all the things that you want to make your retirement be.
And here's the thing. If you're sitting in a married couple right now, and one of you wants that RV to go travel the country in an RV together, and the other one definitely does not want that. Or one of you wants to take so much risk with your money that you want to stick it in Bitcoin, and the other one wants to stick your money under your mattress. Sometimes it's hard to figure out what that happy medium is because, if you're in this relationship, you're too close to the vest and it's kind of hard to figure out what that happy medium is between the two of you. We do a lot of that kind of planning too, because it doesn't matter if you think you have the exact same risk tolerance or you want to do the exact same thing in retirement. Sometimes until we sit down and we have these conversations, we don't know what we don't know. And if you haven't sat down and asked your spouse, are we in our forever home? Are we going to be moving someday? What about long-term care? Like if we needed long-term care, do you want to stay at home? Do you want to go to a facility? We have so many different answers. And until someone else asks those questions, sometimes
you don't even think about it.
Exactly. And it's also really obscure to sit back and have some of the conversations we have with our clients and our prospects with your spouse. But when you're with us, it's nice to have kind of an unbiased third party who can help you figure out what that happy medium is so that you're both satisfied and ready to handle all those what ifs in retirement, because without a plan for that, where on earth are you going to begin? We want to reduce your stress as much as possible in retirement. We don't want to add to it,
right,
so that when the day comes, you have to come up with a plan on the fly. If you have a plan, yeah, it's going to ebb and flow and change with your world, but with a plan comes a lot of success. But we can't put together a plan without a conversation. So we would love to get together and begin the purpose approach with you. Our custom complimentary plan, where we're going to look at all the ins and outs of your retirement and everything we mentioned earlier, your income, your risk when it comes to the market, when it comes to taxes, your healthcare needs, long-term care needs, legacy and estate planning, and of course, that purpose approach. So give us a buzz at 314-207-6211, and let's get started. We have a representative standing by that'll put some time on our calendar so we can get together and get started. 314-207-6211.
Heidi, Ricken, Provost, Gerry, Ricken. We were talking in that first segment about the purpose approach. Plan with purpose, retire with joy. It's the initial no cost, no obligation consultation from the team at Ricken Financial. But let's dig a little bit deeper. I schedule that consultation. I take advantage of it. Heidi, what can I expect in that first meeting with the purpose approach?
Well, the first thing you can expect is for someone from our office to give you a buzz, chat a little bit, make sure you know where to find us, because we're on Ballas Road in between Olive and Ladue. And if you hear it once, you'll hear it a million times. Come on to the back side of the building. It's the easiest way to find us. And when you walk inside, you'll be greeted by us. If you're not a hugger, we totally get it. But we like to hug people around here to welcome them and say hello. So we'll give you a hug. We'll get you whatever you're comfortable to drink with, and we'll bring you back into one of our conference rooms where Gerry or myself will sit down and learn a lot about you. We're going to ask a whole lot of questions. What does your income stream look like right now? What are your needs going to be in the future for your expenses? We're going to go through your investment statements together to see what you're currently invested in right now. We'll take a look at your tax return. And, we have a little workbook we'll have you fill out before we get together so that we can ensure we have all the correct information. And in that first appointment, we're going to get to know you. We want to know what your purpose is going to be in retirement, what you want to work for with all of your assets. Because, if you want to travel the globe, that's going to take a different amount of income versus, hey, I just want to spend time with my kids and my grandkids and maybe spoil them a little bit, which we definitely want that income too if you're looking to spoil. But we're going to break down quite a bit together, and we're just going to get to know each other and see if we might be the right fit.
And the biggest thing we do, Mark, is we listen to people. Mm-hmm. Listeners out there, you hear Heidi and I talk every week about retirement planning and what we can do for you. And if you listen to our podcast, we do the same thing on our podcast. And by the way, you should be listening to our podcast. Go to rickenfinancial.com and just go to our media site and listen to our podcast from there. Or give us a call and we'll start this conversation at 314-207-6211. But what we do is we sit down and listen, because you hear us talking a lot. Mm-hmm. We don't talk a lot in these meetings. We ask questions and we sit back and listen and understand where you are so we can meet you where you are and also understand what your concerns are so we can address those.
Yeah, but Heidi, let me ask you a question though. I'm coming to see you, but I'm nervous. I'll be honest with you. I've made some mistakes, some financial mistakes in my past. My portfolio, it's a bit of a mess. It's like when you go to the dentist and you feel like you've got the worst mouth that dentist is ever going to see. That's how I feel about my portfolio. So how do you help calm some of that anxiety?
Well, it's okay if you haven't been flossing lately because you don't know what you don't know. And every single person we meet with has a fear of some sort. They're afraid they're going to run out of money. They're afraid, they didn't save enough. They're afraid their income stream is not going to be enough. They're afraid that they're not going to be able to cover long-term care if they need it in the future. They might be afraid of the market risk right now because being at an all-time high in the market, so many people have this fear that the market's going to have a large correction. Mm-hmm. There are so many things that drive us, and sometimes they're simply afraid of the unknown. And they're afraid to get started. So first of all, no, if you're nervous or you have some fear, you are not alone.
That's normal.
Every single human being we meet with has a fear of some sort when it comes to their money and their retirement.
Right.
So yeah, Gerry nailed it. It is normal. It's normal to be afraid. And know that we're going to walk through so many things together to ensure that you have the knowledge you need to make informed decisions. And we're going to let the numbers speak to show you if you should be afraid of something or not. If your fear is that you might be running out of money, then we're going to put everything together. And after that first appointment, the second time you come back and see us, we have it all up on the big screen. Your numbers are going to dictate what retirement's going to look like for you if you don't make any changes. Are you going to be okay? Is there something you should be afraid of? Are there tweaks you need to make? And we'll let that dictate whether you need to make some tweaks, to be in a better position or not. And if you do, then when you onboard with us, we're going to make those tweaks with you. And we're going to be your quarterback to help you have someone you can rely on to ask the tough questions, to ensure you're going to be okay, to be the phone call when you lose the job, to be the phone call when, someone in your family passes away and everything changes, to be the call when, hey, you're ready to take the trip to Disney when the grandkids are old enough. There's so many things we're going to walk together, but just know that you're not alone. We're all afraid. I mean, we wouldn't be in this business if there wasn't a fear of people running out of money in their future or, something dramatic happening to you in your retirement. But that's why you put together a plan. If you don't have a plan, it's going to be pretty easy for fear to lead the way. But if you have a plan that can weather a lot of the storms, then you at least can silence some of those fears and have a little bit more confidence with what you've done. But no, it's never too late and it's never too early to plan. And that's what we're here for. So if you want to begin that plan, give us a call at 314-207-6211, 314-207-6211. Our representative will set up some time and then you'll hear from us right away. So, within the next few days, someone from our office is going to call you, talk to you, get to know you a little bit better, and ensure you're ready to come meet with us and start that purpose approach.
And how do you know when you're ready? You really don't. So if you have any skepticism at all that you may be fearful of running out of money at some point in time in your retirement, you're ready. Mm-hmm. You're ready to have that conversation because there's no time like the present to start, because the earlier you start, the better off you're going to be. Because if you're fearful and we do uncover some things, it's better to find those out early than later.
And here's the other thing. If you're within a decade of retiring, some people think, okay, well, I don't need a retirement plan until I retire. That is so false. You need a retirement plan if you're within a decade of retirement. So if you're 10 years to retirement, the time is now. If you're 10 days to retirement, you definitely need to have a plan in place. But a plan is not an investment. Some people think that a 401k, since when you actually go talk to HR, they call it a 401k plan, a retirement plan for work. That's not a retirement plan. That is an investment. That is an asset. So some people think, oh, well, I already have my retirement plan. I have my 401k. No, you need to figure out when Social Security should be taken, for you and or a spouse. What about a pension? Is my pension financially solvent? Am I choosing the right option here? What does my income stream need to look like beyond that? And where am I going to pull it from? What's the correct withdrawal order for my assets? When it comes to my investments, are they matching my market risk? And if I'm going to take risk on those, am I making enough money? Am I making the right money? Am I truly diversified in my holdings to make sure that, I'm not exposing myself to more risk than is necessary? What about your health insurance? If you retire before 65, you might have 18 months to carry some COBRA with you. So you could retire at 63 and a half and use your coverage from work and pay for it. But when 65 comes along, you probably have received 5,000 phone calls if you're around that age about Medicare and Medicare supplements and Advantage plans and everything. But you need a plan of some sort in place for how that health insurance is going to work, and long-term care, life insurance, your legacy and your estate. Do you need a trust or a will? If you have them, are they up to date? Do you have the proper deeds out there? Are your beneficiaries structured properly? And we add all that up with taxation and that's a plan. But if you're so afraid of putting that all together, we get that. But it's going to be too late if you never put a plan in place and something dramatic happens. Just because you put a plan in place does not mean that, you're going to keel over the next day. Some people are actually afraid that if they ever do their trust or will, they're going to die the next day. I get that. And we understand a lot of fears because we have shared a lot of those fears with you, but we've also walked hundreds of people through retirement so that when you retire with confidence the way that you would like to be able to spend your time in retirement. So, give us a call at 314-207-6211 if you're ready to take that leap.
So Heidi just mentioned that 10 years before your retirement, you should probably think about starting. Why would you think that early, that far and ahead of your retirement date to plan? Well, we can do a lot of things, especially in the tax world, if we can plan early. So you aren't hit by a bus when you're in retirement and the IRS forces you to take money that you don't need or want and forces you to pay a lot more tax in your retirement years than you ever did in your working years.
Well, not to mention, if you're working and you're 10 years to retirement, you're invested like an accumulator who is still accumulating for the future, who, plans to continue to work and work and work. And if we have another 2000, 2001, 2008, 2009 market correction, you don't have time to make up for it if you're a decade away and you're not matching your risk tolerance. So that's something that is totally key when you're 10 years from retirement, is ensuring that your investments truly match your market risk. Because if we do have that correction and you're not matching your market risk, you're going to feel quite a bit of pain. And we don't want anyone to feel unnecessary pain, whether it's because of market risk or the taxes that you're going to have to pay.
And if that happens, you certainly won't be retiring with joy.
That's right. The Purpose Approach, plan with purpose, retire with joy. I'm ready to make the phone call. I'm ready to get serious about my retirement strategy, but I keep seeing all these articles saying, unless you've saved at least $5 million, don't even think about retirement. Listen, unless you've got $7 million in assets, then you're not going to be able to retire comfortably. And now I'm like, okay, well, I'm nowhere close to that. So why am I going to make the call if I don't have $7 million saved?
Because that article you read is a bunch of baloney.
Thanks for keeping it clean, by the way.
Yes. You're welcome, airwaves. But, I grew up in an era where Wikipedia came out when I was towards the end of middle school, beginning of high school. And we're putting together research papers. And if I heard it one time, I heard it 5 million times from my teachers. Wikipedia is not a legitimate source. Do not use it to come up with your research paper. Well, think about the internet today. Everything is Wikipedia. You never really know who's writing these articles, where they're coming from, if they're factual,
what their background is.
Does Snopes.com even exist anymore? And if it does, it's probably a bunch of baloney too.
But it's just a couple that does stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Think about this. No one is putting anything out on the internet without their bias on it. So, of course, a money manager who wants to manage a bunch of money is going to say you need $10 million to retire comfortably. I come across articles all the time that are like, if you live in this zip code, here's exactly what to the penny you need to have saved for retirement. We have helped hundreds of people retire successfully. And guess what? No one has saved the exact same amount of money. No one has the exact same Social Security strategy. No one has the exact same strategy when it comes to their pension. No one has the same taxation, because your taxation is like a fingerprint. It is incredibly different person to person, and even person to person in a couple, sometimes the taxation can be different. Every single person has to have a different strategy to walk you to and through retirement. And it has to be custom built for you. So if you're reading blanket advice out on the internet, please, please, please work with a professional. Don't actually just read some blanket advice from a talking head out there. It's no different than Googling and WebMDing whatever ailment you're, facing right now versus actually going to a doctor. Because guess what? Sometimes we think we have the right diagnosis and you go to a doctor and they're like, actually, you're wrong. This is what you have. Don't fall prey to that. And don't let some person who wrote something on the internet keep you from doing what you need to do to have a successful retirement. How about instead you just give us a buzz at 314-207-6211, and let's talk about your needs, your wants, in your retirement?
Assets are one thing, but income is where the rubber meets the road. When we talk about retirement, we want you to have income as long as you have blood pressure. Okay. As long as you're on this earth, we want you to have income, and guaranteed income's even better. Heidi talked about pensions and Social Security. So we want to maximize those and optimize those when we can. But when you look at assets can be lost. They can be stolen. They can be devastated in a market crash. Income is where the outcome matters most. In retirement. It truly is. So we want to make sure that we focus on income. And how can we generate income? We can generate income from those assets, but we need those assets to last, and we need the income to last as long as you do. So that's what our whole focus is. And it's not how much did you save? It's how much income can we generate from your working life through your retirement life.
And here's the thing. Retirement planning is not one size fits all.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're reading some article or you come across a TikTok or an Instagram or whatever, because if you've ever actually Googled the word retirement, you're going to be inundated with stuff. Or if you've ever sat at a seminar like, we host where we talk about retirement, or you're listening to this right now, your phone is listening to you. Big Brother is always listening. You're going to come across stuff that says, whatever blanket advice for retirement. Blanket advice for retirement, you may as well throw out the window. You need to have a custom plan for your retirement, because your retirement's different from, Joe down the street who, when you take the trash out, says you need to be doing this, that, and the other, and you should be invested in this. Or your friend that you play tennis with who tells you you need to apply for Medicare at a certain point in time that may or may not be true.
Or my brother came to you, so I should come to you because you did something for him that you can do for me.
Yeah.
It'll be different.
Or my brother's an economics professor, so he needs to listen to everything I have to say and tell me if this is correct or not. It takes a different skill set to plan for retirement than it does to put an article on the internet or write a textbook for finances. Or every single one of us has a different swim lane that we swim in. And this is what we swim in right now is retirement planning. We need to ensure that every decision that you're making works in tandem together. And if you have a bunch of different advisors all over the place, but you have your number saved. Remember those commercials they used to have of save your number?
What's your number?
Yes.
And people would go up on a bulletin board and stick a number up.
Yeah, if that money's not working for you, that number doesn't mean anything.
Mm-hmm.
So, give us a buzz at 314-207-6211. Let's start that plan. And I think it's important for us to tell you why we do this and who we are and how we came to be. Because, you might just hear Kicking with the Rickens and you're like, oh, what does that even mean? But, for those of you who can't tell, Gerry and I are related.
Yes, I am Heidi's favorite dad and also her favorite business partner. For all of you out there, I just want to let you know that.
That is correct. He may or may not be my only dad and my only business partner at the moment, but he's also my favorite.
I am her favorite.
But that's why I have two last names, because Ricken's my maiden name. Provost is my married name. I love my husband, Stephen, but I'm a Ricken through and through. And our name's on our wall because of my grandpa, but my grandpa, Willie, greatest human being that's ever existed, my dad's dad. So he, back in the day, was a dairy farmer and a firefighter. And in order to provide for the family, he did a lot of side gigs too, because raising 6 kids is tough out in South Central Kansas. And one of the things he did on the side was sell some life insurance policies. And he always told my dad, son, if you have an opportunity, you should really help people out with life insurance, because not only can it help you make a decent living, but more importantly, it takes care of people's families. And what I like in that today is Grandpa saying, GoFundMe is not life insurance. You need to make sure your family is protected. So that's obviously one service that we provide. But, we thought putting his name up on the wall and honoring his legacy every single day is like the best thing that we can possibly do. And I've been here working with my dad for 17 years. And I miss my grandpa. I wish he was here with us still too. But it's awesome that we can keep his legacy going. And he didn't have the tax background that us two tax nerds do. And he didn't, manage money in the market or anything like that. But, we're able to carry on from generation to generation the entire philosophy that what we do every day can help families protect themselves, right now and in the future.
When I started Ricken Financial, I had a vision that I wanted to be a retirement planner, not an investment manager. There's a difference. Investment managers are phase one firms and retirement planners are phase two firms. We do much more. We do investment management here at Ricken Financial, but what about your income needs? What about your healthcare needs? What about Medicare, Medicaid? What about long-term care? We want you to understand every aspect that can possibly meet you in your retirement years so that we can plan for that. What if you need long-term care help in the future? What about legacy and estate planning needs? What about life insurance needs? What do you have in life insurance? Do you need that life insurance anymore for death benefit? Likely you don't. But what about the cash value that's built up in there? Can we reevaluate that and re-engineer that to make sure that we can cover other risks that you may have? But the overall thing that we incorporate every one of those aspects of retirement planning with is taxation risk. Taxation risk, taxes will be the biggest expense in your lifetime. What we want to do is help you understand how taxes can be reduced in the future with the appropriate strategies in place.
Of course. So, we're a family owned and operated business here. And yes, we do have members that are not in the Ricken family, by blood, but are part of our family that helps serve our community as well. But we live here in St. Louis. We love it. I wear my St. Joe ring proudly every day. Dad's not from St. Louis, so it doesn't matter what high school he went to.
Well, I went to Garden Plain High School in Garden Plain, Kansas, folks. But I've been here for 31 years. I'm a member of Our Lady of the Pillar Parish, right there by Chaminade High School. And we're very involved in our church. We're very involved in the community. We're very involved in a lot of things. So come see us and we'll just give you a hug and let you know what we're involved in.
Yeah. And if you want to help give back to the community with us as well, we serve, just down the street at Mercy Hospital. We help out at their Ronald McDonald House to serve some meals. And we're always ensuring that the families in our community that are affected by childhood cancer are also taken care of, in memory of my oldest sister, Mary Beth, that we lost to cancer when she was a freshman in high school. So, we do a lot of different stuff in this area, but we're pretty proud to be here and to serve the families that we do who become an extension of the Ricken family. So if you want to see if you might be the right fit to be an extension of the Ricken family and join us at Ricken Financial, please give us a call at 314-207-6211.
Heidi, I want to take advantage of it. I like what you have to say. I want to get serious about income and retirement, a little worried about my tax strategy, and I want to meet you and Gerry and the team at Ricken Financial. But let's be honest. You can be real with me here. When I schedule that appointment, I'm really not going to meet you, Heidi, right? Like it's going to be some sub-advisor that comes in every other Tuesday to take care of new appointments. Or, Gerry, you may pass by the window and wave at us during our first or second meeting. Like that's how it really works, right? Let's pull back the curtain.
Well, you will get tired of meeting with us, Mark, because you're going to meet with Heidi or myself. One of the two of us will meet you and greet you and have your conversations with you because that's what we do. We care about people and we want to sit down and understand. There's no way we can understand what your concerns are if we don't have those conversations.
Oh, 100%. You meet with us every single time. So Gerry's right. You are going to get sick of us, but we're not going anywhere anytime soon. So elephant in the room, we are a father-daughter team. And
I'm the father, by the way.
Thanks for the clarification.
And my dad is older than me, in case you were unaware of that. We get this question quite a bit. I don't think he's going anywhere anytime soon.
No, I'm not.
So, some people will be like, oh, well, that's why you work together is so that Heidi's going to take over and then some random person will come in and fill in for Gerry. Right. Nope. My grandpa Willie worked until the day he died, a week shy of 95.
He was the oldest employee for the Diocese of Wichita.
In Kansas. And, we got a lot of Ricken blood around here, so we ain't going anywhere anytime soon. You get to meet with us. And yeah, we have a bunch of people in the background that are helping us and assisting us and supporting us every single day with our operations and our marketing and you name it. But we're the advisors and, it's our name on the wall, but we're also the people that want to meet with you every single day and ensure that we're the right fit because it means working with us, not some big box or third party or whatever. It's Gerry and I that put our brains together to help you plan for your retirement so that you can plan with purpose and retire with joy. So if you want to start the conversation and meet with us, give us a buzz, 314-207-6211, and let's get together.
You know, we are a family-owned firm, and, you know, Heidi and I work together, and we love working together every day. At least I love working with her. I'm not sure what she likes. She
Depends on the day.
on that. Yes, exactly. But we want to know who your family is, and we want to understand what's important to your family so that we can help, because we care about your money like we care about our own.
Mm-hmm.
And because when you do become a client of Ricken Financial, you know, it's cliche in a lot of firms, but we truly do believe you're a member of our family. We invite you to client appreciation events throughout the year. We invite you to our seminars throughout the year. We invite you socially too, because we want to know and celebrate your success along with you each and every day of the year. And we run into each other at Schnucks. You know, we run into each other out at Costco, and we give each other hugs, and it's fun. It's a lot of fun to see members of the extended Ricken Financial family throughout the entire St. Louis area.
Oh, of course. We love being a part of this community. And every day I come home, my next door neighbor is like, hey, I heard you on the radio, you know, and it's fun to be a part of such a strong community because, you know, St. Louis may be a big town, you know, a big city, but we're not. We're like the smallest big city ever. I'm probably related to half the people listening to the show right now anyway, through my mom's family, through the Kriegshausers. But, you know, that's why I had to find someone from Boston to marry, so I knew I wasn't related to him. But we love serving our community and hanging out with people. And we also actually mean this. If you're ever driving by the area and you just want to pop your head in to see if we're actual human beings or come see the studio or whatever, come by anytime at Ricken Financial. We're always hanging out and we'd love to say hello. And if this radio show and our podcast is not enough for some education and you want to dive in deeper, we're always out and about in different areas of our community doing seminars. So at any point in time, you can head over to rickenfinancial.com, RICKEN financial.com, and head over to the events tab there. You can see what our current events are that we're hosting in the area so that you can sign up, RSVP, and come see us. Our next one coming up will be at Sam's Steakhouse later in July, where we will be talking about how to retire with a little bit less tax, with a little bit of planning.
So all you people from South County, look in your mailbox. You'll be receiving something, or just go to rickenfinancial.com on the events page and sign up that way, because we want to share that education that we have with everyone.
Yeah.
As many people as possible, because we want you to understand where you are, where you can be, and where we can get you. So if you have an interest, reach out to rickenfinancial.com and look at that, or just call us at 314-207-6211, and we'll get that conversation started.
On this Father's Day weekend, I do have a question for you, Heidi, Ricken, Provost. Is it hard to turn off as a small business owner, as somebody who works with your father? Are you able to turn it off between business partner and dad? Like as soon as you walk out of the building, does Gerry go back to being dad, or is he always business partner, or vice versa? How does that work?
Well, you know, a little bit of both.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. It's a good thing we get along and we really like each other and we like spending time together because we're also friends. So at any point in time, yeah, when you have a coworker, there's going to be ebbs and flows. And sometimes, you know, there's the who's on first conversations you got to have and that kind of stuff. But it's fun to work with my dad and I really enjoy it. And yes, we are business partners, but that relationship, the father-daughter relationship, is always going to exist no matter what.
Yeah.
So we try our best to not talk business around the family and everything when it's family time.
And sometimes when we do, we're reminded that we're talking too much business.
You get shushed.
But it's more so the business that we talk when we're around the family is like, you know, the fun trips that we take with people and that kind of stuff. Not like we never talk about anything business related. Like we will never share anything about any of our clients' financials or anything like that with the family. But, you know,
but we'll talk about their new grandkids and those kinds of things.
Yeah, exactly. But the beautiful thing about it is when we're not in the office, we are just family members who get to hang out and have fun together. And because we do have such a strong confidentiality, you know, agreement with our clients, we can turn it off because we have to. So it's kind of nice.
Respect for that. Hey, same question to you, Gerry. You've got to be honored to be working with your daughter every day in this industry. And it's got to be fun. And I'm sure also frustrating, but rewarding all at the same time.
Yeah, and Heidi and I have a very good relationship in that we can tell each other exactly what we think. We don't offend each other. We're not offended by say, hey, she'll tell me something and I'm not offended. I'll tell her something, I'm not offended, or we'll compliment each other on what we do, because it is very, very important. Communication is the most important tool you can have in your tool chest.
Yeah.
And if you can't communicate effectively, you're not going to be successful in any facet of life, whether that's personal or professional. So we do have the opportunity to work with each other, and it's truly an honor and a privilege to work with Heidi every day. And I thank God every day that I get to do that. And it's also truly an honor to have her as a daughter in my life, and spend time not working together as well.
On this Father's Day weekend, Gerry, how do you like to spend it? Do you want to spend, the whole family come over, let's grill out? I've had your smash burgers before. They are fantastic. Or do you take the Father's Day and you go, you know what, just leave me alone for a minute. I just want to sit in my chair and watch the game.
I'm not a sit in my chair and watch the game type of guy, unless it's at night and there's nothing else to do and I can't go outside, because I truly do love spending time with family. So that's my preference. And grilling, smoking something, frying something, that's my forte as well. I love to cook. I love to, people say, oh my gosh, you're a good cook. I say, no, I think I'm a good chef.
As a matter of fact, Heidi has to say yes, chef in the kitchen. It's really weird.
It's Father's Day weekend, but he says they're not dad jokes. They're Gerry jokes.
That's true. They are Gerry jokes.
So if you ever want a good Gerry joke, come on by anytime. If you need to borrow, some dad jokes that you need help on that, he is always available for hire. And
I've been telling those jokes since I was 10 years old. So they are Gerry jokes.
And it's amazing. They seem to get worse with every joke. 314-207-6211, 314-207-6211. Gerry, Heidi, thank you. Thank you for the information and the education this weekend. We are back next weekend, but before we get out of here, take us home.
Every day is a holiday.
Life is short. Laugh hard.
This has been Kickin' with the Rickens, redefining retirement.
Insurance products are offered through the insurance business Ricken Financial LLC. Ricken Financial LLC is also an investment advisory practice that offers products and services through Impact Partnership Wealth LLC, a registered investment advisor. IPW does not offer insurance products. The insurance products offered by Ricken Financial LLC are not subject to investment advisor requirements. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal. Any references to protection, safety, or lifetime income generally refer to fixed insurance products, never securities or investments. Insurance guarantees are backed by the financial strength and claims paying abilities of the issuing carrier. This podcast is intended for informational purposes only. It is not intended to be used as the sole basis for financial decisions, nor should it be construed as advice designed to meet the particular needs of an individual situation. Ricken Financial LLC is not permitted to offer, and no statement made during the show shall constitute tax or legal advice. Our firm is not affiliated with or endorsed by the U.S. government or any governmental agency. The information and opinions contained herein provided by third parties have been obtained from sources believed to be reliable, but accuracy and completeness cannot be guaranteed by Ricken Financial LLC.
Please remember that converting an employer plan account to a Roth IRA is a taxable event. Increased taxable income from the Roth IRA conversion may have several consequences. Be sure to consult with a qualified tax advisor before making any decisions regarding your IRA.
Tax preparation and tax advisory services are offered through Ricken Financial. These services are not offered by IPW and are not subject to investment advisor requirements. These services referenced are an outside business activity not offered through or supervised by IPW.